Okay, so as I've said, one of the main components of our ministry is that we're not just having service, but we are going to be of service. And so we are going to do that in two general ways. The first way is through Restart. It's through One Step when we do community service and things through them. But our major project that we will continually work on every week is called Life Upgrade. Okay, so I don't know if everybody's heard me talk about Life Upgrade. So the purpose of Life Upgrade is to help individuals get a much needed boost in life through a power pack of in-kind services provided by local churches and community organizations. So imagine, I'm sure everybody has seen like videos of people who come in and will bless someone and they weren't expecting it and it was all great and everything like that. Or Oprah giving her old audience cars, all kind of things like that. Those opportunities are fantastic, but they don't glorify God at all. And so what we want to do is provide a system or some type of mechanism to bless people, but make sure that God gets the glory out of it. So that's what the Life Upgrade program is all about. We're going to have a nominated individual surprised by what we refer to as ambush blessings. Okay. And we actually already have that domain, ambushblessings.com. All right. So it'll be from Manifestation and our team of community partners, which means this is also a proponent of what I'm referring to as the marriage of church and state, because everybody talks about separation of church and state. This is the marriage of church and state. So this is churches, not just ours, working together along with corporations and other nonprofit organizations to provide these services and these gifts. Okay. And so that's part of the work that has to be done. The events will be recorded and always done in public places. So that's why I've been applying for grants and things like that to provide the funds and the equipment that we need to be able to have these recordings, to edit the recordings. Then we have to put them on YouTube, things like that. So we have a lot of work to do in that regards. So when we go to some place and we surprise someone with this ambush blessing, and then we make a big deal of it, we might like show it with balloons and say Jesus did it, all kind of things like that. And then the next step is making sure that when we make these ambush blessings go viral, that is very apparent that we are giving God the credit and not necessarily our church or any other organization. So this is not a chance for corporates to have sponsorship, giving us stuff so they can get their name on our t-shirt. This is giftings. So in order to know who that person is, that person has to be nominated by someone else. So you may feel like, oh my God, my mother's so sweet. She just sacrifices for all of us all the time. And I want to really show, pour back into her. Will you guys do an ambush blessing on her? And so you would have to nominate your mom. Go on to our website, fill out an application for to nominate her. Tell us all the reasons that you think your mom deserves an ambush blessings. Tell us the type of things you think she needs to be ambushed with. So that may be she needs a new car. She needs all the people on her job to show up and show their appreciation. It could be a number of things. Then we do the ambush blessing. The next step is that what happens is people get blessed. Like you heard of stories of people who win the lottery and then they're broke. That's because there's not sustainability for that blessing. So now we have to be doing systemic change as well, so that once that person is blessed, the nominator also agrees to be an accountability partner to sustain the blessing. So it's not good enough for us to just give her a $10 gas card. We need to provide some type of way to where she's going to be able to get the nourishment that she needs to get that upgrade for a longer period of time. And our commitment is a year to each person. So this is big because we're only going to take a single nomination. We're going to choose a single nominee once a month. And then we got to do all the work to get that person blessed, and then the work to sustain their blessing. And this is going to be our primary work as a church. It's a large undertaking. The reason that we did these exercises is because the thing that has to drive every principle with manifestation is that there has to be love demonstrated. We have to introduce them to God, which in this ambush blessing, it means that they may not be Christian already. You know, they may not be poor. We need to talk about that, like what it looks like to do an ambush blessing on a rich person or a well-off person. How do we define poor? You know, those type of things. There has to be a fellowship mechanism involved, and that's why the accountability partner is really important. But then we as a family and as a team also have to walk them through that process. There has to be equipping. So we are helping them to sustain their upgrade. Okay. The other proponents of manifestation is that we're holistic. We serve soul, body, mind, and spirit, which means we will, in any given situation, there'll be prayer for them spiritually, but then we help them mentally, we help them physically, physically or environmentally. When I say environment, sometimes people's change requires them to change location. It's like you can't change and then stay in the same place. You're just going to fall back into your same rut. So spiritually, mentally, physically, and soulically, because we need to help them emotionally sometimes adapt to change. That's why people leave prison and then end up back in prison, because they didn't make a soul change or they didn't make an environment change. They had to go back to their old neighborhood, or they can't acclimate themselves to a new way of life. So these are all the things that are going to be important. When we did the spiritual gifts inventory, we discovered as a team how we best communicate love. So as a team, we communicate love by serving, acts of service, and by spending time, which means those are the two ways in which we should
do it the most.
Yeah, it should be easy for us. Like those, but it's gonna take us a little bit to touch them. You know, it's gonna take them a little bit to say the nice things that we need to. You know, and so we have to work on those things, but spend time with them. Oh, we got them. Come on, hang over at the house. You know, those type of things. We can do that. Or serve them. We'll give to them and all those type of things. But we have to kind of work on the other ones. So that's why we did that. The reason that we took so much time recognizing our spiritual careers here in the church is because now it's time for the work to begin. We've been granted a lot of money to be able to do this. I have also been granted the opportunity to be a part of an organization called the Hatchery. They are in LA. So every month I pay this group of people to advise me on this project and teach me things to help us with this project. All right, so that's why I'm recording now, because I have to turn this into them. Next month I'm flying to LA to develop this project even more. And so I'll be going back out there in March. So we'll need a major update by then from our time in November. Today, I wanted to kind of get all of this in your mind and get some feedback about how this goes so that you individually can begin to go back and start thinking about your individual role in making Life Upgrade come into fruition. Thoughts? Is the vision clear about what will happen? What do you guys see? Like when I was telling some of that.
I was going to somebody's job and blessing them to even meet somebody at a crack house.
that door, that house to house, or that Acts 2,
Right.
42, the Acts church. That's what I consider
Yeah.
making it accessible.
Because remember, we said love goes.
Logo,
So when we are thinking about what we are going to do, it's going to require us to leave here. So some Sundays our team meetings won't be about it. It may be to like connect with one another on the plan, but sometimes our job as a church is not going to be to have church, but to actually go love. And that's why this is important. Love anticipates. So trying to work with that nominator to anticipate the need of the nominee is going to be important because we are surprising them so they can't tell us what they really need. We have to anticipate that love. And in order to do that, we empathize with them by learning what their situation is and then try to step into a place that says, I've been there before. When I was there, this is what I needed. And then love gives. Yeah. So, like, how all this worked out, Justin, how we walked through all these different components, I've been leading us up to this. That's what a strategist does. He looks way down the line and say, this is all the stuff that needs to happen in order to prepare them for that. So are we seeing how it all is coming together now? So this week, really spend some time thinking about your team and thinking about what you are going, how you're going to fit into making all this happen. I am working on web presence and equipment. Okay, so I'm buying domains. I'm building our website. I am because the website is going to be crazy important for people for the nomination system. We will need to talk about what needs to happen on those applications, like what type of questions we need to ask, things like that. Yes.
I also think, you said how we need to find out ways to be able to constantly sustain those people with the blessing that we gave them.
Right. How do we bring sustainability? Yes.
So what I was thinking is like, if it is just say a financial blessing, like selling advertisement space on our webpage, taking some of that money, sustainability for them.
Yeah, that works. That's a good. We will have to raise funds, so that's good. There's a whole lot of work to get done. I would love. Let's talk about a projection date for the first time that we do an ambush blessing. What's realistic to think we'll be prepared by January?
I think because the holidays.
I said beginning of the year.
Oh, you say a holiday?
Well, because the holidays are coming up.
Okay.
And that's when, most
Everybody
people.
Everybody
does
that.
that, but.
You know what is so real, and I like what he said about the professional mode, is this. After Christmas and all of that, when everybody gets thrown all this money, about the 5th or the 6th of January, those people are like, dang, we don't have nothing no more because everybody went all out for New Year's, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. They ain't got nothing.
Yeah.
And doing something around like January 6th or 10th is around the time when people don't have anything because the pantries is done ran dry.
Yeah, that's a good point. And so, but if let's say if we targeted to try to do an ambush blessing on the 5th of January, how early before that will we need to have the website finished so that we could actually start advertising the web? Because we have to advertise this, we have to start getting the word out and figure out how we're gonna get the word out so that we can have people nominate.
So that would be
I would
10
say before-
10 pounds of work.
I would say before Thanksgiving.
Before Thanksgiving. So in 30 days. Yeah.
Really, I say realistically before Christmas.
Close the door. Close the door. Thank you. Close the door. Close the door. You gotta close the door. It's shining in.
Isaiah, close the door.
All right. Well, you said somebody said something about Christmas. Yeah.
By Christmas, realistically by Christmas, depending on what type of a blessing we want to do. Because if it's more food based,
Well,
then
wait,
we
are
can
you
do that
saying,
anytime.
you're saying have the website done by before Christmas?
This is just the website you saying?
Well,
we have to
we have to talk.
done,
Before we
right,
can do anything?
before,
Yeah.
because nobody knows about the ambush.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, what?
But what I'm saying is the funds by Christmas.
There's another thing that has to be done. We have to get these connections in the kingdom,
Right.
the community. I mean, so we have two ways we can do that. We can just go out now and start asking for donations, or after we have the nominee and know what they need, then we can do our asks based off the need of that individual.
What about radio? Get on radio.
Well, that costs.
I mean that not for 95.3 every first of the month they have a every first Friday.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much free advertisement. It's like $20 a person to be on there and talk about what you're doing. And by that time, let's say maybe the beginning of December, the first Friday of December, we could hopefully have that website up, and then we can start talking about it. And they'll actually advertise it for like 2 weeks after after that first Friday. They'll advertise for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's great. I actually know the DJs of that radio station and have pitched them this idea, and they're on board. I'm considering asking them to be our spokespersons for the event.
Matter of fact, I have her on Facebook, but Nikita, that's with us with One Step, she's good friends with the lady that hosts it. I forgot her name now. She's on my Facebook page, but she's
Crystal.
I want to say Crystal, but she's real good friends. No, it might be. Is it India or?
Okay.
I can't
They
remember.
may have a few.
But
So all those ideas, we got to gather those ideas and put together a timeline. You guys are in charge of
And then talk
timeline.
Not only that, but we could go to barbershops and have them give donations, because they always look. There's a lot of, in Kansas City they have back to school cuts. They have all of that, hairdos for the kids and all of that different stuff.
So wait a second. We're taking a shotgun approach to this right now. When I say that, I mean that we're just
bang, bang, bang.
spraying bullets and whatever gets hit will get hit. So let's take a step back. Why don't we attempt to choose a target type of person?
Now, what is 95.3? Is that a gospel?
It's a Christian.
Like, Christian.
Yeah.
Like hip hop. Everything. It's Christian.
So when I say choose a target, say a single mother.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going.
Eventually we'll have the responsibility of helping people know this is not another single mothers program. That anyone can be nominated, but
What about
initially
a single father?
it could be a single
Because
father.
there's not a lot of single father programs.
So if for our person in January, if we almost strategically do the nomination, we kind of come up with this person and then ask another person to nominate them, that'll help us begin.
I know who I a single father. I know.
Well, ain't that who you can do it, who we are.
I know, but we
You're
can
not going to be allowed to nominate them.
nominate him though.
But yeah, so if we
Talk to somebody and have him nominate him, because he's been raising his daughter by himself for the last 10 years, and I know they're struggling.
Mhm.
They need things.
so that's good. I have somebody in mind, but I was trying to wait for Latrice to come down before I talk
I
about
don't know
her.
if you know him, Damon Caldwell.
Maybe sounds familiar. But if that's who we decide, then we'll do it from that aspect. But then we have to, because once we do our first video and start posting it and stuff, it'll catch on fast. Like, it's not going to take long. The other thing is, I have changed my blog from PastorTerrellL.com to lifeofgray.us. So I'm going to change the formatting of the whole blog to be 100% Life of Great oriented. So everything will be about tips on upgrading your life. So that publicity right there will lead the way in the way too. Because I have several hundred people who follow my blog.
Which one?
Pastor Terrell, not Blab, but we can also get on Blab and talk about it on Blab. To accompany the blog, I'm going to start a Life of Gray Periscope channel. So there's all different types of ways. The next time we have a team meeting, we will work on our individual roles in executing our first ambush blessing. Does this excite you guys? Yeah. Yeah.
To really have that, I was reading what you studied, what you did was to have that selfless mindset.
Mm-hmm.
To really think truly about others, thinking less of yourself, and
right.
Truly, really esteeming others better than yourself.
Right.
Like it's Philippians. So it's really instilling us that we're here to serve. That's,
yeah.
And being equipped at the same time.
Absolutely, because you're going to exercise this service in your gifting. So this is not just learning about your gifts. This is putting your gifts to practice, and for a long time. So like, if our first person is in January and our last person is in December, we're committed to do this project at least 2 years. That's why it's important, like you were saying, Ebony, about sharing that responsibility and sharing the load. Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Well, I'm excited and glad